Mary and Chris. Holiday. Mary and Holiday. What's up? Mary Holiday.
I'm having a great time.
It's me, Mary, and I'm here with Holiday.
Yeah.
What is it? Holiday sounds like a spy's name. I'm calling it Agent Holiday.
It's one of those things from like a Tom Clancy novel. Bring in Agent Holiday.
Bring in Agent Holiday.
Is Holiday a last name?
I feel like it would be. It's at least like a sarcastic kind of last name, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, we went off track already. Hi, guys. Seeker and Drew here from the Seeker and Drew Show. Or
Is that
whatever.
what we're calling it still?
We still haven't decided, but happy festivities, everybody. It's that time of year again. The snow is not on the ground, but it's cold outside.
Yeah, and we're going to be opening presents in a couple months. I mean, days. I'm so tired.
It's like a week. What? This is not the Sick and Tired podcast today. It's the Merry and Holiday.
Mary and Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Mary?
I guess I'm Mary.
I guess
you want to be
so.
Mary. You can be Mary if you want.
I don't really want to be Mary. My cousin's named Mary.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, hey guys. If we had sleigh bells, we'd be playing them right now. That's the sound that it makes when you try to play the sleigh bells, but you have no sleigh bells.
I'm well aware.
Are you well aware? Because you're not a percussionist, true?
No, but I understand how band works.
Okay. Anyway, guys, hello. I want you to scream at your screen right now. What are you doing? What did you do for the holidays?
Down in the comment section.
This is not going to be uploaded anywhere close. Probably more like February. It's probably going to go out like February.
We'll just be talking about Christmas in February. It's fine.
Yeah, Christmas in February. Anyway, pretty cool here. Okay, first item on the agenda. How are you spending your holidays, Drew?
Normally we would go down to my grandma's house. Well, technically, it's north of where we live, but and have like a family Christmas there. But that fell through this year because there's all sorts of family squabbles that I do not want to get into at the moment. And so we're instead going down to the Iowa State Bowl game in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
That's
pretty
complicated.
boring. Yeah.
Well, I mean, family squabbles, man. It's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, family matters.
It really does.
What is it? Did I do that? That's what I led up to. I don't actually, it wasn't some kind of statement. It was just, I wanted to make an Urkel joke.
That's fair.
You know, Urkel met Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I know. You were telling me about that earlier this week.
I should stop telling you about things.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know I got hit in the face with a ball? Have I told you that?
No, I don't think so. You started telling me, but then you're like, I'm going to save it for the podcast.
It's not very Christmassy, but I was sitting there in gym on the floor, and some kid always kicks a ball at a wall, and this kid, that class has a lot of kids that are kind of like, they just don't care about other people.
Sure.
So, like, they'll kick a ball right next to them and hit the wall. So he kicks it and he slams it against the wall. He hits the scoreboard, all this kind of junk. And other kids just, like, they don't really just care about each other or, they sloppily do it. And so he's doing it, and I was sitting there in class, I was like, if this kid was to hit me in the face with the ball, I would totally whip out my hand and deflect it.
Yeah.
And so then I go back to reading my Dungeons & Dragons article, that's what I was doing. I was reading a Dungeons & Dragons article, and all of a sudden, bam, I get smacked right in the face with this ball that the kid kicked and hit me in the face. He doesn't apologize, but, in the heat of the moment, I stand up, I take the ball, and then I walk past him and put it back in the ball closet. I didn't say anything, but I still felt bad because I angrily walked back into the ball closet. This kid walked over to his friend or something. I don't know. Later, I went to apologize for taking his ball, or, the ball back to the closet.
Yeah.
But he broke my glasses.
Oh.
And now there's like a big bump on my nose. You see that?
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering what that was, but I wasn't sure.
Merry
So
Christmas,
those new glasses?
No, they were just kind of slightly bent.
Oh. Okay.
They weren't like shattered, but they was bent glasses.
Yeah,
It hurt.
I saw this like all week, and I was like, "What happened to Seager?" I thought it was like maybe a pimple, maybe.
Wow.
I wasn't sure.
Wow. Okay, I see how it is.
I wasn't sure what it was. I mean, I have no context when I just see a big red bump right there.
Yeah. Well, that was my week. I got hit in the face with a ball. I went to D&D twice this week.
Oh.
Both times I laid there the whole time, basically unconscious or out of the game. Which kind of sucked. Oh, but on Wednesday I got it back up after being unconscious for the whole battle, and
Yeah.
I was the only one who looted, and I got like he rolled really high on the loot table, so I got these like really good items, and
Yeah.
but I decided to share. Anyway, that's not the point. What am I doing for Christmas? Thank you for asking. I don't know. That's my I don't know. I mean, we do something.
Yeah.
You know, you get presents. I don't even think I'm getting any real, or like, I haven't asked for anything besides a puppet of Toad, you know, from Mario.
Oh yeah. Sure. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I asked for that. And anyway, on to the next segment. So this segment I like to call I blather about Dungeons and Dragons for a bit while Drew sits there and nods, and sometimes says stuff. So Drew,
Mm-hmm.
if only you could use words and we're not eating a meatball right now. Drew has a cup of meatballs on the table and he's eating them. In the middle of our podcast, he's eating a bunch of meatballs.
I figured you were just gonna delve into your D&D rants.
Oh no, I'm making a call out. I'm making a call out right now. Just freaking ate a meatball in front of me, Drew. I mean, I've been doing the same thing with my cup of meatballs over here, but I put chips on top of them and I make them salty. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. So I have a Christmas story for Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't think I've ever told you about it. But for all the viewers at home. Oh, actually, you know it's a Christmas story, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get really close to the mic and talk very sensual for a while.
This is gonna turn into ASMR.
Hey, this is sensual, right? I don't know.
I don't know, Seeger.
It's a softer voice. For all you guys at home, leave now if you are afraid of edgy topics, as this gets pretty edgy, guys. It wasn't anyone's fault who was playing. It was a random table we were using. Speaking of random table, okay, so that was your warning. Leave now, or forever hold your peace. Let's just say there may or may not have been death of people.
Oh my gosh, D&D, impossible.
So, okay, here's the thing. So this was a few years ago. This is at a public game on Wednesdays. It was around Christmas time. And this is about maybe my second year or so playing with this group. Now I've been playing for like 5 years now. And, you know, you have people come in and out. So we had a current group, only like 3 or 4 people who are currently playing out of the 11 remember this story or were there because a lot of people left or came. Anyway, so it was we're playing, what is it? Kingdom of the Storm God. Storm King's Thunder. Which is it's like a book about giants. I mean, I could go on a rant, or not a rant, but like playing a book, you know, like an actual campaign book at a public D&D game.
Yeah.
Does not end up well because people come in and go, and you lose the story very fast. But this was fun because it had its own little story, and it was Christmas themed. And then he promised when we started that at the end of it, you could ask Santa for one magic gift, and he would give it to you. So anyway, so we were playing. We had notable characters in this was a barbarian who could not die because he had high resistance to like everything. So that was his gimmick. And he's a player that just has continued playing while most other people have left. And then we had like a paladin. Mm-hmm. We had an NPC rogue, which was a goblin that I accidentally turned good. Again, things sound crazy when you just say them to other people, but yeah. How did I turn him good? Well, I was playing a sorcerer wild mage. So if you don't know, whenever a sorcerer wild mage, there are different classes in D&D, like spellcaster stuff. So I was a spellcaster sorcerer, and then there was a subclass, which are different specializations you can go into. And I chose wild magic because I thought it would be fun. And whenever you cast a spell, the DM rolls a d20, and if it gets like a 20 or a 19, or I think it's just a 20, a random effect happens instead of the spell. So, and that kind of caused a lot of the things today. No matter. So we were like when I started the character, I was like, okay, well the list of things because there's a list of things in the book that will happen if it goes random, and you roll for the random thing
Sure.
when you fail a spell. And
Sure.
so the list of things was kind of boring. I mean,
Yeah.
the most interesting one was like you turn into a potted plant for 1 round, and that's kind of so. And it's hard to get it. So he was like, okay, look, we both agreed that we should lower the threshold of it going wild, the magic going wild, and turning into something else to 18. So if he ever rolled an 18, 19, or 20 whenever I cast a spell,
Sure.
it went wild. And then he also rolled off this giant 1,000 or so magic magic thing table, magic effects table online that he found. He wouldn't tell me what it was. I've never seen it, but there was some crazy stuff on there. And so the thing with this game was no matter what spell I cast, he had this orange dice, and it's become kind of this meme where this orange dice will it always rolled high. But I don't think it was weighted. It just really hated, and he always used it for my magic, or he was just kind of using that in general. But it always turned my magic wild, or like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So let me open my candy. And so there's some pretty fun events. Like once I was using it on a goblin, I think I was like maybe attacking or charm person, but it flipped their alignment. So instead of being evil, chaotic evil, they turned lawful good,
Oh.
and they became a rogue. So they joined the party as an NPC, which was fun because we needed a rogue. In
Yeah.
the adventure. So
Interesting.
I'm gonna pour out my candy. I have candy, guys.
Where do you get the candy from?
Math.
Oh yeah.
Um,
All of that Halloween candy she stole from
Anyway.
the kids.
yes.
Yeah.
So, it went rogue. Another time I turned a huge giant, which was supposed to be a very hard fight, to a bunch of butterflies. I don't think this was this guy. I think I had two. I had one later, and he turned his arm to cheese. One of his arms to cheese or something.
Oh.
Oh, the first guy, I think he just went all bald once. So this guy that I had, he just went all bald. He cast it and lost all the hair on his body except for the ears because then he would be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it's gone wild a bunch of times. And we're going to have a Christmas thing. So we're in a town where I accidentally burnt down some houses. This guy was crazy. My guy wasn't crazy, but there's some shenanigans. So basically it went like we were sleeping in this hotel in this town.
Yeah.
And by the way, the DM kind of used some online stuff, but also made it up as we went, kind of, or not as we went, but he made some of it. So we're sleeping, and there's like a crash, and everyone wakes up and goes outside, and there's this like a sleigh with reindeer, and it crashed. And there's an elf in there, and he's like, "Help! Help! Krampus has stolen a bunch of kids," and he's taken over the workshop, and everyone's like, "What?" He's like, "Help us, please." I don't remember every detail, but like,
Yeah.
and so we're like, "Yeah, sure, we'll help you." Typical party stuff. It's just
Sure.
the hook. So we all hop in the sleigh with these I think there's 2 reindeer, and it's like Dasher and Dancer. He names them. He's like, "Onward, Dasher and Dancer. I'm an elf." And so we start riding off. And basically, the hook is that Krampus has kidnapped a bunch of kids from the town, and we're going out to fight Krampus and get him back, right?
Sure.
He's taking over Santa's workshop. So we go out, and we're on the road, and snowmen start rising up, like that Jack Frost movie. You seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, evil snowmen start attacking our 2 reindeer, and we need them to pull the sleigh. So we get out, we fight the snowman, as you do.
Yeah.
Nothing happens too crazy. But then one of our reindeer is killed, and we have a sleigh with a bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
And, one reindeer can't pull the sleigh.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey guys, let me use enlarge/reduce, which basically it raises a creature's size by 1, and it increases their strength, or their carrying capacity by a lot. So we would have been able to be pulled.
Yeah.
Let me use it on this reindeer we have left. I think we had 4 reindeer. I think there were 4 reindeer, and 2 of them were killed, so we had 2 left. Let me use it. It'll make them bigger, and we can do it. And they're like, okay, sure. So I used it on Dasher, but it goes wild. And the next thing you know, Dasher's leaning over, and he impales his head on on our spear of our paladin. And that's when the DM revealed that it went wild and turned. It made him suicidal. Which is that's the first bit of edge here today. You get a lot of, and so everyone was like, "What?" And so we had to walk the rest of the way to Santa's workshop with this elf. Well, trust me, it gets worse. I feel bad. I still, to this day, feel bad that I killed Dasher.
I mean, it wasn't your fault. He just happened to roll.
Yeah. Well, it gets worse. So we get to the workshop. And our barbarian loves to just charge and plays bagpipes into a place. He's a classic barbarian. That's what he does. So he loves to charge in and plays bagpipes. And so there's a door. There's clearly a front door and a side door.
Yeah.
And we could charge in the front door, or we could charge in the side door. I think the barbarian and paladin start charging, and we're like, no, let's go through the side door. And so, like, me and the rogue and, like, a wizard and stuff go through the side door to get in. Or, like, the stables.
Sure.
And, and you fight your demon elves or something. I don't remember what it was. It was some evil things. And so, basically, people that went through the main door weren't trying to hide, and they got in there, and they were, there's Krampus. He was a big demon guy, you know what Krampus looks like.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, his two arms and the things where he whips, the satchel thing. He's got a bunch of kids in sacks, like these canvas sacks up against the wall, as Krampus does.
Yeah, naturally.
And he's whipping the kids with the thing. It's a Krampus thing. This is not a demented D&D thing. It's just a Krampus thing. And so he does that, and they come in, and he's like, oh, time to die. Oh, I think it was a monk and a barbarian. So the monk was in there too. Barbarian, monk, and paladin were in there, and they're fighting them, having an epic battle. The wizard and I think a ranger or something go through the side with our rogue. And we go through the stables, and I think we fight a snowman or something. I don't know. And we get into there, and so we see this main battle, and the wizard charges, and they charge up and they start attacking too. Our rogue is somewhere else in the facility. I think we had him or her sneak around somewhere else because they're NPC and getting in there.
Yeah.
And so it's a battle. Things were looking bleak. This thing was crazy strong. He was beating up everyone. He had minions, and so I was like, okay, it's time. And so I cast a spell to help my party. It's like a typical attack spell.
Sure.
It would do some damage. It went wild.
Naturally.
And then everybody wearing armor exploded. Or like a giant shining light appeared from their armor, and they all took like very heavy radiant damage.
Yeah.
Because as you do, radiance, and we're like, okay, sure. I didn't have any armor on. Our main tank was our barbarian was our main tank, so he didn't take any damage because barbarians don't wear armor.
Yeah.
Our paladin did, but it's a paladin. Who cares? The story it seems pretty normal. Another round goes by. We still haven't seen our rogue in a bit.
But to recap, you've already killed your reindeer.
Yeah, the reindeer is dead.
Yep, and then already you've caused some of your people to take damage because they were wearing
pretty
armor.
Heavy damage, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Oh, and I'll just spoil it now. We never realized, and we kind of left the workshop, but our rogue was wearing leather armor, and it exploded somewhere else in the facility, or just freaking died. No one rezzed him. He just died. So our NPC died with that class. Yeah, that's kind of every single piece of wild magic. There's one more wild thing. So the next round comes. Everyone's doing their attack. Still looking pretty bleak. He's got multi-attack, so he can attack twice. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I cast another spell on him, and he produces 2 more arms. So he's got 4 arms now. So the guy grows 4 arms, and it gives him 4 attacks. It's fine. It's fine. He just freaking wrecks the barbarian. Or he just destroys our monk. He's got 4 attacks, 4 arms. Things are looking bleak. Everybody's a little you kind of messed this up, Sigurd.
Yeah.
So he does this thing. He attacks 4 times. At the end of the round, he explodes. His arms explode. Because apparently the thing was, you grow 2 more arms, but whenever you use them, they explode off you. And it instantly kills him.
Oh my god.
It damages our party a little bit, but it instantly kills Krampus. And about 4 of the 8 kids he kidnapped. So it blew up a lot of the kids.
So clearly this was a successful mission.
So, a bunch of kids were dead. We rescued Santa from the back room. He was like, please never come back here again. It
You
didn't
just
go
killed
according to
4
plan.
kids and my reindeer.
Yeah, it was quite a night. That's probably one of the most eventful stories. And so we go home. No, we walk home. We go to bed. We wake up. We got magic items. The story's not done.
Yeah.
We get magic items. People, you could request it. Like, our barbarian got a free healing potion a day through, like, this Christmas-themed gauntlet, or there's a Christmas staff, whatever. I got a little snow globe, because I didn't know what I want. But it basically, since I've been going wild, it's been going wild just a lot. And it could eventually kill me, because this list was very bad.
Yeah.
Very, hurtful. It could kill me somehow. So it reduces the chances of going wild, something that should be normally a thing, to, like, 19 instead of 18, 19, 20. Or maybe it's like 20 or something. But, like, it reduces it by a bit. So it's like, whew, I won't go wild so much anymore. I can play my character. The next time I use a spell, it's literally the next thing we do. There's a giant tree in the road. I'm like, okay, I want to use reduce on it. Let me reduce this thing. I use it, I turn to metal. My whole body turns to metal, and I die. The next spell I cast with this thing, I'm dead. That's the end of the Christmas story. You die.
Oh my gosh.
Thoughts and comments? It's a pretty long one. That was a pretty long one. It was psychopathic. It was children are dead. Dasher's dead.
Krampus is dead.
Our party mate's dead. But you know what? It was a ride. And that's my Christmas D&D story. The only Christmas adventure we've ever done. We've never done a single one since.
I just want to imagine, like, in the story, right? Like, Santa Claus is just, like, walking around that place, and then out of nowhere, he's just, like, cleaning his house or whatever. And then just out of nowhere, he's like, what's this dead goblin doing here? And then he has to, like, dispose of it, He, like, pours acid all over it. How to get rid of a body.
He packs it up in a present. Anyway.
This is for the naughty kids.
You don't get coal, you get... Oh, I didn't get coal either. I got an actual item. I was surprised I didn't just get coal from killing a bunch of children. Well, it was an accident. Anyway, that's the D&D Christmas story. We're going to send you to commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Cool.
Perfect tree topping for your Christmas tree. Well, and we got the product for you. It is the water bottle topper. You stick it on top of your tree, and whenever you press a button, it spits water everywhere. It's beautiful, and it really waters them plants, baby. Have your kid trying to peek at the presents before Christmas? Bzzz. He's what now? Man, and so is his Xbox that was not unboxed yet. We also make other versions, like a regular Super Soaker, in case you don't have a Christmas tree and you don't like Christmas. You can still ruin his holiday break with the Super Soaker at his Xbox. Thank you. You can call www.supersoaker.web and christmastree.ilovepizza. Hit us up there and we will hook you up one for like $200. Goodbye. Commercial break. I'm still reeling from that story. That's probably the darkest. For being a Christmas story, it's probably the darkest D&D story I have. Because all my other ones are usually pretty lighthearted. Even like the evil campaign's not that bad yet. That was pretty edgy, huh? It's like some adult content you would see on like a late night TV thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like pretty edgy stuff. Anyway, on to our next segment called I give Drew a thing and he's supposed to bring it. So I asked Drew to bring his favorite TV slash movie, kind of more like TV Christmas special, in for us today, based off a pre-existing franchise, not just like a different thing. So, Drew, what'd you find?
Well, one that my family always watches every year is this Christmas special from season 5 of the show that we watch called Eureka. It aired on Sci-Fi back in like 2015 or whatever.
Did they have a crossover with the Warehouse show?
Yeah, Warehouse 13.
Dude, I watched Warehouse 13.
Yeah.
They had a crossover.
Yeah.
A few crossover episodes. I've been meaning to watch that. If it's on.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's basically about the theory behind the show is that it's this like it's a bunch of super geniuses working for the DoD all in one town, and they're trying to develop like weapons for the U.S. government and all these sorts of like scientific things. It's a really interesting show.
5 seasons?
Yeah, I think
more.
I want to say there were 6, but I think there were only 5.
I don't remember how many seasons Warehouse 13 had. You watch that show?
I watched a little bit of Warehouse 13.
Oh, so we're like opposites right now.
Yeah.
Except for I didn't watch any of Eureka.
Yeah.
They were, I looked into that. Sorry,
No, it's
wheeling.
fine.
But I looked into that, and they were gonna have like a cinematic universe. It was gonna be one of the first ones.
Oh
ever.
yeah.
Yeah, it was gonna be on TV, and it was gonna be them in Eureka, and I think they're gonna get another one. They're pretty good. I'll look into that. I'll check like Hulu and stuff.
It's a good show. I've always thought, but the episode that I was talking about was I think the season 5, the second season 5 Christmas episode, and basically what happened was they had this like big like holographic thing that was supposed to like make the town look like really snowy and like Christmassy and such, right? Mm-hmm. But something happened to it, and it basically like projected things to make them look like cartoon characters, right? And it takes a few like jumps in logic, but it's a very fun show. They like become like different forms of like cartoon characters, and like the theory is that like it's this storybook thing that like connected to this huge like holographic thing. I don't know what to describe it. I think it was like some kind of superconductor or something. There was a scientific word for it. But then this like children's holographic storybook that allowed the kid to basically like make their own story, then got connected to this, and then it projected what the people were like doing on the storybook onto the rest of the town. So there was like all these different sorts of things, and I thought it was a funny one. They had a Scooby-Doo reference, and so I thought Seeger would enjoy that.
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna mention, like, you had so many options, like, all the Scooby-Doo ones.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about, well, he didn't, Scooby-Doo's great. Scooby-Doo, Phineas and Ferb had a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
Warehouse 13 actually did have.
Yep.
They did It's a Wonderful Life one. I don't know. I'm just mentioning it because you mentioned it, but.
Yeah. No. There's definitely probably better ones, but it's one that we like as a family.
So do you watch that as a family every year?
Yeah, basically.
That's nice.
It's probably my mom's favorite one, but I have to watch it a lot, so I've grown to like it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you also didn't choose Shrek the Halls. Everybody's favorite Christmas special.
Yeah.
But we shall get into another movie later, as I also picked.
Your own movie?
Well, it's a different segment. It's not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not this segment.
We'll get into our main segment. I actually have a special guest today. Surprise, Drew.
Who's our special guest? I actually don't know about this.
You don't. That's the surprise, huh?
Okay.
I'm gonna go get him. We're gonna go. Should we do another commercial break? We've had like 2.
Well, we don't need a commercial break, but let's just say we're gonna go to break, and when we come back.
But I like commercial breaks.
Do you want to do a commercial?
You know what? I'm gonna get him right now, Drew. I'm just gonna get him right now.
Yeah,
Oh, ho, ho! It's me! Santa of Denmark. I'm the Santa of Denmark. Oh, ho, ho. How have you been, Drew?
I've been great, Santa. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I recently inherited Denmark. It's my favorite country, place, city. As you know, what happened was I was a mall Santa, and I was in the middle of Ohio, and I went up to a guy, and he said, "Hey, here's the key to Denmark." And so now I legally own Denmark. I'm the king.
You're the king of Denmark
I'm the king
now?
of Denmark.
It
Well,
makes a lot of sense. You know, Denmark's kind of in the north, I guess, of Europe, and so
whatever. Don't give me a lesson here. This is not geography. I'm here to talk to you. Have you been a good boy, Drew?
I've been, you know, as good as I can be.
I met Seeger when I was laying in an alley in Ohio after becoming the Santa of Denmark, and he was like, "Hey, you want to be on our podcast?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, I do. I'm Santa."
Are you just a homeless Santa Claus?
No, I'm the Santa of Denmark, Drew. So, I don't know. How are you spending your Christmas this year, Drew?
I mean, we already talked about that with the viewers. So
I wasn't there for that.
No, you weren't. We're going to the Iowa State bowl game in Florida.
That sounds not very Christmassy, Drew. That sounds like Florida. You know what they say about Florida?
There's crazy people there.
There's no snow in Florida,
That's
usually.
true.
Sometimes there is. But then the whole place shuts down because they do not have snow usually.
Yeah.
Anyway, Drew, sorry, I had to take a swig of my Mountain Dew Merry mashup. The Christmas themed version of Mountain Dew. I was promised one for coming and visiting today. Now tell me, little boy, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, I just want Legos. That's it.
A classic child wish. Legos. Any Lego sets in particular?
Well, you know, there's like this $400 one. You know, the Death Star.
I thought that was discontinued.
It probably was. I haven't paid it close enough
As
attention.
Santa of Denmark, I know all the toys. And I know a guy who says that was discontinued. What else do you want that is not discontinued?
Well, there's the Tantive 5.
What is that?
That's the ship at the beginning of episode 4 that
What?
Leia's on.
What is episode 4? What are you talking about?
Star Wars.
I cannot afford to go to the theaters. I live in an alley, Drew, with my elf, who uses all my money on hot dogs from the local hot dog stand. Okay, my elf just has whispered to me that it is not discontinued. You're in luck.
Oh, outstanding.
Yes, you can buy yourself a Lego Death Star. Or, you know what, I'll gift one to you. Just kidding. I have better things to do than gift it to Space Nerd. Anyway, how do you celebrate presents? Do they just happen to... Do you wake up early and you're like, Mommy, Denmark has come and he has given me a gift.
I mean, yeah, that's what happens every year.
Oh. Do you have like a sibling that wakes you up, or is it usually just you?
I just wake
Is it
up on my
casual?
own accord.
It's just casual, and then you all mutually agree. See, back in my day, I had this really annoying. I have these really annoying people who would not let me sleep in on Christmas and make me get up. And then I'm like, how dare you? I'm Santa himself. How dare you? And then they make me get out of bed, and then I cry. If it's the weekend or something. Anyway. You know what I mean? You get it? You get
Yeah,
me?
totally.
Wow. Well,
Completely understandable.
I shall not give you any Legos this year because that is a baby toy for babies. And also, I have no money. I have
Fair
to
enough.
go mine the Denmark mines for whatever they produce with my key. I'll go unlock their banks. So I am out of here.
Send Seeger back when you.
I'll send
when you
him
get
back.
in.
I think he's really having a good time out there, though. He's a really good boy, and he gets lots of presents every year. Goodbye. Yo, Drew. Did you meet Santa, Drew?
Yeah, I met Santa.
Did you meet?
He was
did
a
you meet
good-looking
Santa?
dude.
Oh yeah, he was. For living in an alley, man, that guy. What a legend.
What town was he from? Like Cleveland or somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere in Ohio. Or well, that's what he likes to think. I met him like down the street. He thinks he's in Ohio. I don't know. Maybe it was at one point, but
Yeah.
he clearly had been
Mall
Doing
Santa is a
some-
hard job.
drugs or something, some
Yeah.
booze, some alcohol. It is a hard job. You have a lot of kids trying to pee on you. A lot of kids. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're gonna head to commercial break.
All right.
We have one last segment, right? Yes, we have one last segment. I've picked out another lesser-known movie that I only semi-remember, and we're gonna be talking about it.
Okay.
See you later.
See you later.
Hello, it is me, Denmark Santa. I'm here. They asked me to come back in and do a little advertisement for a sponsor they've gotten. Okay, let me see here. Have you ever wanted fruitcake? Man, I love fruitcake. It's like the only thing I can find around Christmas time in the trash cans and in my mom's basement. Anyway, fruitcake. Have you ever wanted it? Well, all you have to do, it looks like for only like 1 pound of concrete, you pour it into the fruitcake mixer, and you get a fruitcake. Maybe put a strawberry in there, but give it to all your friends. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm looking at a photo of it right now, and man, that's one good-looking fruitcake. That's what my mom likes to say to me sometimes when I feel bad. It's just me and old Ma fruitcake hanging around, huh? Best pals forever. And then she tells me to get a job. And then I got one as a Santa. And then I got fired for being drunk on the job. But don't tell my mother. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to go now. I'll see you guys later. This is the end of the commercial. Time for the fruitcake jingle. Doo-doo-doo, fruitcake. Welcome back. So we're back here. I picked out another movie. If you remember last time we were talking about Zathura.
Zathura.
Have you done any research in that, or you just don't care enough?
I don't care enough.
Oh, okay. Well, so this one you might actually remember. This one's a more popular one. I was thinking about doing the Elf on the Shelf movie, but yeah, there's a movie of Elf on the Shelf, but I don't really remember anything. I tried recalling it earlier today, and it was kind of like it was very sporadic what I remembered. Anyway, you want to guess what movie we're talking about? A niche movie or a lesser-known remembered movie. It's Christmas themed. That's why this podcast is longer, by the way. It's a special Christmas episode.
Can I get an idea of the time period that it was released?
I think it was released when I was younger, like a child. Maybe.
Okay, so
I
like
don't remember
early
exactly.
2000s.
Yeah. Okay,
Alright.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. I was gonna give you a hint, but I forgot what hint it was. Yeah. It's not Shrek the Hall.
Oh, okay. Lesser known Christmas
It's
movie.
based off of a property, but not a property that had done. It was like a single thing property. So like not the Muppets or
Oh, okay.
Shrek or a TV show. It was like based off of a really niche thing. Like if you were to base it off like a song or something, like a photo or a song.
I have no idea.
Anyway, here's a hint, huh? Drew got hit on by a bus driver.
Oh my god. Really?
Look, yeah, you did. I remember that.
Oh.
Just kidding. He did. That would have been funny though if he was
That
hit on
would
by a
have
bus
been
driver.
weird.
So, do you remember?
No, I'm assuming it's like Grandma got hit by a reindeer.
No, it's Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Oh,
Everybody. Everybody's favorite movie from the 2000s. I barely remember it. It was on Cartoon Network a couple times. So.
Yeah.
You ever seen this
Sounds about
movie?
Right? No,
Seriously?
never.
But you knew it was a movie.
Yeah.
Do you know the plot at all?
If I had to make a guess, I'm assuming Grandma gets run over by a reindeer, but beyond that, no idea.
So based off that popular song, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Grandma is in this, it's this kid, and his grandparents run a toy shop. And this is just off what I remember. I haven't watched this in years, and it only clips from, like the actual channel. So this kid and his grandparents run a toy shop, and then they're hanging out on Christmas Eve, and his grandma goes home for, her medicine or something, and then they find her stuff on the ground. It looks like she got run over, but I don't think her body's there. It was a hit and run away with the body, but it looks like sleigh tracks, hoofs. She drops her eggnog, her presents and stuff. So basically, Grandma's dead.
Yeah.
And so no one believes that it was Santa except for Grandpa and this kid. Everyone else doesn't. And so they run this toy shop. Grandpa continues to run the toy shop. But then he gets an offer from a businessman to buy the toy shop for a lot of dollars. And then it turns out this kid's aunt or something is working with this evil businessman to get those dollars, them dollar bills. And so basically it's a conspiracy. They go to court because they're trying to, now that Grandma's dead, they're trying to take ownership of it and say Grandpa's crazy and take the shop and sell it for money or whatever. That's what they're doing. But then, this is the big twist of the movie, so close your ears now or something. It turns out, as the court is about to close on it, Grandma bursts into the room with Santa Claus, and Grandma's like, "Stop! I'm alive. I had amnesia after Santa hit me with his sleigh." And Santa was like, "Sorry guys, I hit your grandma. Sorry. I'm real, and I hit your grandma, and this is my first time appearing in court, or something like that." Anyway, basically, Grandma comes back and saves the toy store, and somewhere in there, I think they do visit the North Pole and find out Grandma is alive, but before that time, but she has amnesia. But then she bursts into the court. So the deal was she had just been in the North Pole recovering from the sleigh hit for a year.
Yeah.
With amnesia. It was kind of weird.
This is I'm looking at the plot here. My
Yeah,
favorite thing is Cousin Mel uses the opportunity to accuse Santa of being behind her disappearance, and he is put on trial for kidnapping, leaving the scene of an accident, and sleihicular negligence, which then, if you click on the blue link in Wikipedia, links to vehicular homicide. And I personally find that very funny.
It's quite a movie.
Yeah. I also love the name of the town, Cityville.
Welcome to Cityville. No relation to Townsville or any other town that's just their name and freaking.
Imagine you're like, I'm going to name this place. What are you going to name it? Cityville.
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 Where Grandma definitely was not run over by any reindeers. Anyway, so then they sue Santa. I don't know. I give up at that point.
They sue a lot of people
Hey, Drew.
in that movie.
Guess
Yeah.
what?
Yep.
Guess who's using the magic of Christmas?
Who's using the magic of Christmas?
Well, it's me. I'm using it to say we actually got 2 Christmas specials I have today.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Holly jolly, bring the sleigh bells. This is actually a 2-parter because it's Christmas. You know what? Gosh darn it. We've had a lot of sad things. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. It's kind of not very wholesome. They sue Santa. We had that disturbing D&D story. that creepy Santa guy. I got a wholesome thing for you today to lighten the Christmas mood before Christmas in February.
Yeah.
I got another thing here today. This movie is actually based off a book. And the movie, I used to watch it every year back in elementary school. They would play it in the library. It's called Olive the Other Reindeer. You never heard of this one?
Oh, it's the first thing to come up when I type in Olive.
It is probably one of the best movies ever. It's got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I think that's more than what Suicide Squad got. That one.
I
DC
think you're
movie.
right, actually, yeah.
Look it up. Look it up. I think it is. So anyway, Olive the Other Reindeer is a story about a dog who's sitting there in like her doghouse with her pet flea, and then she's listening to the radio, and apparently like Rudolph is sick or something or something.
Yep, Suicide Squad got 6 out of 10.
Yay!
The real question is...
Oh, Olive the Other Reindeer is so good.
It has a better score than Star Wars The Phantom Menace.
Oh.
On IMDb.
What a nice...
How about,
Anyway, we got to continue with the review. Not the review, but just the discussion. So that's what the movie is kind of about. No, I didn't even finish that. You interrupted me.
Sorry.
So she's listening to the radio, and they're like, Rudolph is sick. So, but don't worry, all of the other reindeer will come and help us, or come out and help. And she's like, Olive, the other reindeer? My name's Olive. I must be a reindeer. But that's not what they meant, right? But she misinterpreted it, and so she goes on a quest to get to the North Pole to save Christmas. And on the way, she meets a postman who hates Christmas because he always has to deliver the letters to Santa. And this guy has the best character design ever. And personally, every time it's Christmas, I change my icon to his face. Because he is but he hates Christmas. And on the way, she meets the penguin who likes to commit scams.
I also just want to say that movie has a better rating than all of the prequels except for Revenge of the Sith.
We have a Star Wars nerd here today, guys. Don't worry about it. His Star Wars is acting up because the new movie came out. But we don't... All of the other reindeer has... But it's a good movie.
It's better than the episode 1 and 2, apparently.
If you're going to watch
IMDb.
A cheesy Christmas movie, I would suggest All of the Other Reindeer. Just because it is wholesome. On the way, she meets a penguin who likes to commit scams. And, he's got watches and stuff, and he escaped from the zoo. Anyway, so they go on a quest, racing against this postman or something, because he's evil. They meet many cool characters. And I'm not going to spoil the ending of this one, because it is good, and I do suggest you go out and watch it.
Unlike Grandma got hit by a reindeer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, I haven't really watched that one very much, but, Grandma gets hit by a reindeer, so whatever. They sue Santa. Not good compared to all of the other reindeer, where it's so good. And all the way, I'm just going to say, I don't know if there's anything weird about the production of this movie, and I don't really care that much, because all of the other reindeer is so good. Such a good movie. I like it. Is there a sequel? Nope. Just a DVD thing. I don't know. It was like a one-time thing. You think something so successful would usually get I don't know. Maybe it's a cult classic. I don't know. I like it better than like The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I dislike.
I feel like that's sin for most people. Like, a lot of people really like that movie. I don't think I've ever seen it, though.
Really?
There's a lot of those movies where people are like, "You've never seen this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've
like
never
Star
seen
Wars.
it."
I haven't seen like any of the Star Wars movies.
Well, that's understandable to an extent because, but like some of those like Disney movies, people are like, "You've never seen it?" I'm like, "No,
I've never seen
don't."
Mulan.
You've never seen Mulan?
You've never seen it?
that one's a little surprising to me.
So we were gonna watch Mulan, but then it broke my TV carrier. It broke, and then my mom took my TV in my room.
Oh.
And so I stand by the fact that Mulan has ruined my... No, I'm just joking. I like to joke that Mulan ruined everything for me. But It didn't. I don't know. I do want to watch it. The music's pretty good.
It's a good movie.
I think the plot's pretty good too.
I think it's for me. It's one of the better Disney like princess movies.
Yeah.
But
A lot of them I find boring. I don't think I
I
would
do
find
too.
that one boring. I liked Brave.
I tried to watch Cinderella once, and it was so boring. I was like, no.
Have you seen the Beauty and Beast Christmas special?
Yeah, my mom loves that. She watches it every single year.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's Beauty and the Belle is her favorite
Beauty and
Disney
the Beast.
presents. Yeah.
Beauty and the Bell would just be Belle
Beauty
and
and
Belle.
the Belle.
Anyway, that's about it today. We kind of got off track there, but
Oh,
two
well.
great movies. A good old great time. It kind of got a little dark for Christmas, but we're doing pretty good. See you guys later.